Hey folks, Scott here. I just recently purchased a chainsaw vise that I've started to use. This is made by Forester and I want to do a little review of that. Recently I purchased it off of eBay and I have it set up on my vise right here. So I'd just like to go over some of the features of it and do a little bit of demonstration of how to sharpen a chainsaw chain on this rather nice piece of equipment on this saw vise. So let's begin with that now. Again, this is made by Forester, and I'm not sure if there are other types of these available, but it is a saw chain vise that hooks onto your bench vise. And so as you can see here, I've attached it to my bench vise here on my workbench in my workshop. Now let me just go over some of the basic features of this. When you put it together, it comes obviously in, before you put it together, it actually comes in pieces, and so these pieces allow you to do different things. The first thing to note is that these clamps here on the top allow you to be able to work with different chains of different gauges, and so a lighter gauge chain can still work in here because when you slide it into these grooves, you can tighten this down and it'll pinch the chain in there and allow you to be able to work with it much better. So let me grab a chain. This is a chain I'm going to be sharpening. Okay, so the chain simply slides right into here. It looks like a chainsaw bar. So it slides in here like so, and then these clamps, you simply tighten them and it keeps the chain from moving through. So here you can see the chain is in here and it moves freely. And then when you tighten these, it pinches the bar, and now that chain is not going anywhere. Like it's in a chainsaw bar itself, when you put the chain brake on, the chain won't move, and this is what this provides for you. And these of course are adjustable, and so you can put it to varying degrees of tightness, I guess you could say. And when you loosen it, you can see it moves freely through there. So let me do a little bit of a demonstration on sharpening this, and I'll do some freehand sharpening, and then I'll use my 2-in-1 file as well to show you how this is done. Okay, I've placed the chain into the vise and I've tightened it so it's not moving. I also put my my gloves on so I don't cut myself, which I have done in the past. And here is a tooth. Let me start right here. What I generally do is I work my way across there, cutting each tooth. This is my 2-in-1 sharpener, and here's how this would work on here, making sure you have the right angle. You cut past this way with it. And of course this sharpener allows you to cut the tooth and the raker at the same time. So I hope you can see how that raker has been cut down, and I'll show you in a moment how sharp that tooth has become. But let me hit a couple more of these so that you can get a good idea. And once you cut all the teeth, note where you left off. Tighten this back. Then you can begin to work your way back across. Okay, I've done one side and I've finished where I started, so now I'm going to flip this around to do the next side, and then when I finish that I'll show you the results of that. So it's just whether you're using a round file and then a raker gauge to do your rakers, this is just a nice platform, and I think it's very nice to have, because when you have spare chains and that you need to sharpen at once, you can throw them on here and knock them out in no time at all without having to put them on the bar of your chain, depending on what kind of a sharpening device you typically use. I mean, if you're used to sharpening on the bar like I am, then whether you're using one of these or just a regular round file, this comes in handy. And so far I like it. I've used it a number of times, and it seems to be a nice handy tool to have for working on your vise, in your shop, on your bench with your vise. So there it is. Okay, I've finished sharpening. I hope that you can see this. I've sharpened this chain, and I'm very pleased. Of course, the vise itself keeps things nice and steady, and allows you to do a good job sharpening your chain. So again, this is a saw chain vise made by Forrester. I recommend it. I paid for this myself. I'm not being paid to advertise this. It's just my personal recommendation, which I've done these before. Some of you remember me doing the review of the preferred, however you say this German name, 2-in-1 sharpener. I reviewed that as well, and so this is just another one of my little personal reviews. Thought this might be helpful for some of you guys who are looking for helpful little contraptions and devices for your power equipment. So there you have it. Hopefully that's helpful to you and that the video turned out alright. Thanks.